Hi there. Tom Vickers here, and I'm with Billy Gibbons, guitar slinger and rock and roll gearhead. He's on the side of a highway out in Las Vegas, Nevada, where it's 103 degrees. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we had some issues with the internet. But we're live and ready to rock and roll. We're doing this for premiercollectibles.com, which has this fantastic Gibbons book autographed for your pleasure. The good news is you can still order them. The bad news is we're sort of backed up because we sold out on the first printing. So it may take a week or two to get them, but at least they're in process and they will get them to you. A live signing event is the perfect way to get fans interacting with the authors. And Billy, I want to welcome you to this. I know it's hot as hell out there. So we'll get this party started. We started working on this book over 15 years ago. Many of you might have seen the original Rock and Roll Gearhead. And with the 50th anniversary of ZZ Top in the past year, they came at Billy and said, hey, do you want to update this thing? Billy said, let's do it. So we worked with them. We've added some new cars, some new guitars, some new little highlights. And between the slipcase and the updated copy and photos, it looks fantastic. So Billy, I'm going to get out of the way and start with some questions for some fans out there. And the first one's from Aaron in West Valley City, Utah. He says, hi, Billy. Is there a song that during the writing recording process you thought was going to be a hit, but unfortunately never was?
Well, it's funny you should ask. We're getting ready to go back in the studio, and after 5 decades of attempting to record and complete a song that we started when the band first got together, maybe this go around will have some success. I'll tell you what, this new revised edition of the book, this thing is giving us some real impetus to get back in the studio and start peeling the onion. That's a good question. It's something to certainly follow up on. I'll tell you what, stay tuned and we'll get back in touch with you when we wrap that one up.
All right. Now here's a question from Milton. Oh, it's from Franklin in Milton, Wisconsin. And he says, I know you've jammed with a lot of great musicians over your career. Which deceased musician would you like to jam with one more time and why?
Well, it's suffice it to say, it's a little predictable, but we still miss our buddy Jimi Hendrix, the boy wonder, and he took it from ground zero up to the stratosphere. That would be a real delight, but let's leave it with Jimmy. After all, he invented to do things on the Fender Stratocaster that the designers never had a clue that it could be done. Yeah. Really a genius.
Another question from Helene in Milford, Massachusetts. She wanted to know if you're going to record again with Jeff Beck.
Oh, Jeff Beck, now you're talking our language. Now there's a guy that not only is still doing it like we'd like to do it, he too is inventing things on the guitar that probably wasn't really designed to be done, and yet he's doing it. Jeff's a great guy. I had a chance to see him last summer while we were over in London, and we've been in touch ever since. And chances are, once we get back into the studio, he's sitting on the ready. So I think we ought to try it.
Yeah. Here's a question from Alan in Spokane, Washington. He wants to know what has been the secret to keeping the same band lineup intact for all these years.
Yeah, good question. Um, it's been answered before. I guess the simple way to respond is 3 separate buses, and that's the story.
Now, another person, Delbert from Tucson, Arizona, wanted to know if you still have the guitar that Jimi Hendrix gave you.
Yes, indeed. The little pink Stratocaster. It's in safekeeping, and it still gets a good whooping in the studio every once in a while. We might take it out on the road. Come on out and see the show.
Yeah. What's the most important thing about learning how to play the guitar as Ara in Henderson, Nevada?
I think the greatest line that I was able to pick up on was given to me by B.B. King. And it's a pretty simple philosophy. Learn to play what you want to hear. You don't have to listen to the teachers. You don't have to read the books. But first, learn to play what you want to hear, and then you got it.
I have a personal follow-up on that. While everybody, especially in the 60s, was trying to play fast, you know, they were gunslingers playing fast. You seem to take pride in playing slower and with more tone. How did that all develop?
Well, you got to find that note that makes you move and groove. We learned from so many of the great players that inspired what we started out with, and has been a remainder, a cornerstone of the ZZ Top sound. It's all about having a good time, and when you find that right note with the right tone, stay with it.
Yeah. Here's a question from Dante in Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. What singular thing do you remember most about Jimi Hendrix?
Well, he was kind of a shy guy off stage, but when the lights came on, look out. He would tear it up. Just a great showman, and he really, really enjoyed getting to do what he got to do, and that's play that guitar. And he had some great players on the stage with him. The Jimi Hendrix Experience stands as one of the great rock and blues bands ever. I mean, they really enjoyed playing.
Now 5 heading into 6 decades of ZZ Top, which decade do you have the best memories of success, and why? Asked Jack in Galesburg, Illinois. Which decade do you think?
Well, let me take that answer back up to Guilford. In fact, we'll take it coast to coast and border to border. Maybe the coming decade that we're in, maybe that's the one. Let's go for it.
Yeah. What's your favorite ZZ Top song to play live? This is from England. Crawley in West Sussex. Chic wants to know that. What's your favorite ZZ Top song to play live?
The one we can remember.
Is there any one in particular, though, that you look forward to in the set where you know it's just gonna just take hold and get everybody going?
Oh yeah, just recently we were back in the studio, and one thing led to the next, and we decided to go back and play just to warm things up. We started playing things that go back 5 decades, and I think the real gift and the reward is having so much that we really enjoy playing. That, to me, and the rest of the band, is what it's all about. That's where it's at. We really just like playing.
Yeah. Now, again, here's a little follow-up from me. I've seen you guys perform about 80, 90 times, you always throw a cover song into the set. Foxy Lady by Jimmy, 16 Tons, Tennessee Ernie Ford. Is there any cover song that you enjoy bringing that forward?
Well, let's not leave out Viva Las Vegas. You know, Dusty steps up to the mic and belts it out. That's another favorite.
Yeah.
We've got a few blues numbers that keep coming back. You know, I think it goes without saying, I could list the list of blues players that have influenced us, from Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, B.B. King, Albert Collins, Albert King, J.B. Hutto, and of course, I could say Jimmy Reed for the rest of the afternoon and still not cover it all. But there's a lot of stuff out there. We'll see what we can dig up.
Yeah. Couple questions regarding the cars. This is from Andrew in Lula, Georgia. What was the first hot rod that you ever purchased and or restored?
Well, this doesn't really sound like a hot rod, but one of the first automobiles we crawled behind the wheel was a 1964 Dodge Dart. The lowly Dodge Dart. Nobody wanted them, but it had that crazy slant six engine that refused to go away. We drove that Dodge where Jeeps fear to tread, and maybe we could take a page out and go find another one. Although we still have the first one. In fact, you can hear the sound of the engine cranking up on the intro to Manic Mechanic. Go take a listen.
Yeah. Now, of all your favorite cars, your classics and your hot rods, Brian from Upland, California, asked, what's your favorite classic car that you own? Which one do you like the best?
Well, if you'll turn through the pages of this new revised version, we have a new, I say a new one, if 1934 is new, then we've got a new one. It's the bad little sister to the Eliminator, and it's called the Whiskey Runner. And it's sitting right there at Jimmy Shine's shop down in Orange, California. And it's one that we feel it's really going to be another addition to a great line of vehicles. I really give a lot of credence to Jimmy Shine Speed Shop. They do it right.
Yeah. Now, here are a couple more questions for you, more on the recording and guitar playing aspect. Noah from Morega, California wants to know what the biggest mistake you made as a musician that helped you improve your musical process and recording process.
That's a good question. It's probably probably not listening to my parents that told me not to get into the music business.
That's a good one. Let's see here. Somebody wanted to know about your strings. Let me see if I can find that one.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite gauge strings that you play?
Well, we're working closely with Jimmy Dunlop at Dunlop Musical Products, and he took the bait. He actually took the challenge to draw a .007, which is one of the lightest gauge strings that was ever made.
Wow.
They stretch nicely, they go back in tune, and they don't break.
Wow. Wow. Now, here are a few just sort of odds and end questions. This one is from Eric in Bohemia, New York. He wants to know, when was the last time you shaved?
That comes back. It's really a question for Frank Beard, because as everybody knows, he's the clean-shaven guy, the man with no beard. Imagine that, Frank Beard with no beard.
Right.
But someone said, how did these chin whiskers come about? One word:
Uh-oh, we got a frozen screen. Uh-oh, I don't know what to do with this one. Screen froze up on us. Let's see here. Okay, gang. Poor Billy, first he had problems with technical difficulties with his internet. He had to go outside and he was in 103 degrees in Las Vegas. That went up to 106. And all of a sudden his phone overheated and we couldn't, it froze up, and that was that. Now I want to thank all of you who are here now. And what we're going to try to do is maybe do this again in the next week or two in better circumstances. I feel bad because I know a lot of you, I had a lot more questions to get to. I know a lot of fans have tuned in. I apologize for all the technical issues we've had here today. You know, between the internet and the heat, things just didn't go as planned. But once again, I'm going to show this beautiful book. It's still available. Like I said, you may have to wait a minute to get your signed copy, but this bookcase is just incredible. That's an embossed photo or drawing that Billy did of himself. It's embossed on the front cover. The book itself is a work of art, and as good as the last book was and as proud of it as I was, this one is even better, if that's possible. So, you know, I know it's summertime and we're all inside and it's getting a little boring. If you need something to brighten up your day, brighten up your mood, and brighten up your love of this little old band from Texas, this is a good place to start. So I want to thank all of you who came along. I'm sorry that we've had all these technical issues, but we'll try and get something going again. Thank you once again, one and all. Thank you, Billy, for being a part of this, and Lauren and all the gang at Premier Collectibles. And again, keep on rocking, and we'll see you again soon, I hope. Okay, bye.